V for Vendetta. I personally love this movie. I love revolutionary type stuff. You haven't told me what your feelings are about it, but I feel like I know you well enough to know that you probably are about it too.
Oh yeah, I have read the original graphic novel, which
I was about to ask.
Is
very
also
different,
good.
I hear it's very like anarchic.
Yeah, it's a little more political. It's not quite as action based as the movie is.
Okay.
But I think it's not an easy story to adapt, and I think they did an admirable job. And I think a lot of that really rests on Hugo Weaving as
so
V.
much personality.
He's so fucking good.
The dude invented anonymous, basically. Like what was interesting enough
with the Guy
to become...
Fawkes mask, yeah. Which I mean, a lot of people still probably. I don't think I could tell you everything about the gunpowder plot. The gunpowder plot.
I know it happens on the 5th of November.
Yes, that's a yeah. Huh, good.
I know no
got
reason
that.
why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot.
Specifically, though, the reason I think Hugo Weaving is what makes it is the scene where he starts rhyming a bunch of words that are all alliteration. They all start with V's. And it is, and I can't quote it because it's almost too good.
I want to learn it now.
It is too good. I know, I've known people who have been able to actually say that verbatim. And it's like ridiculous how cool it sounds. Because that's one of the hardest, like, lines or sequence of lines to remember in a movie. But, like, he just pulls it off with fucking class. And it's great. The fact that you never see his face the whole time is perfect too, because it's literally the whole idea that he is not a person, he is an idea, and he is very much acting like that. I think they nailed down most of the beats of the comic, like the main themes. They definitely nailed that down in the movie itself. There's a couple minor things that are implied about the character that are not in the movie that are in the comic as far as to his true identity. Essentially, I think he was like a prisoner, and there's like a random bit where they like get a little bit into who V actually is, but really the whole point is that that's not the point. It doesn't matter who V is. V is all of us.
Because behind this mask, there's more than just flesh, Mr. Creedy.
Indeed.
Behind this mask, there is an idea, and ideas are bulletproof. Like, that was... Dude,
so badass,
that was like, you could have dropped all the mics in London, and it still would have not have been enough. Like, that was... And then he just strangles the dude to death. Like, that was amazing. And I think having not read the comics, and you'll have to be the one who's like commenting on that kind of aspect. I'm aware of the comics, and I know I'm pretty sure that the guy who wrote the comics was not a fan of the movie. But of course, given how political it is, I imagine that imagining the only version of V for Vendetta that would have been viable in his mind probably would have been what he came up with, because it's like, I get that, right?
Alan Moore is the author of the comic, and he's also the guy who did Watchmen and a couple other things, and he's notorious for hating Hollywood adaptations. He's a bit of a bellend, as they might call someone in Britain. He's a bit of a dick, essentially. People don't like Alan Moore that much as a person. But you know what? I mean, he stands for his own creators. He stands for creators' rights, though. So, I mean, props to him for that, I guess, at least. Yeah. But I think V for Vendetta is a fantastic adaptation. I think it's one of the better comic book movies, actually, even now.
Yeah. I think that a big part of that comes back to they made it about, as interesting as the idea aspect is, they made it about the people. Because, yes, it's like the whole idea is that freedom and, like, all that stuff is an idea and that is bulletproof, but it is birthed from people. And one thing that I think Evie gets at, Natalie Portman's character, is, and I'm pretty sure she's the one who says, like, I will remember the man. And that's the thing that gets lost in like even kind of like a more intellectual end of things, like revolutionaries, is that they end up being viewed as the finger on the gun. And everything else about who they are is either something that's used to like demonize what they did in that context, or it doesn't matter. But the whole thing in that was that before he goes off to meet with Creedy and then fight his forces and everything, she tries to get him to stay. And then he just says, I can't. And you can see with the hesitation of it how much he wants it. And I think that something like that is really powerful in the sense that it shows that there's a human being that needs to make those sacrifices, who needs to do this, needs to do that. And that makes it all worth that much more, because he had a chance to elope with Natalie Portman and have a somewhat happy ending. He still could have blown the thing up. He could have just been like, fuck you, Creedy, I'm not showing up. Now, I mean, they still would have had to kill High Chancellor Sutler or whatever it was. Yeah. Because they already abducted him, you know what I mean? So it's like, either way, that guy dies, and yeah, Creedy's alive, but like, you still blow this other stuff up. So point being, I think they did a good job of showing the humanity of, in quotes, freedom fighters, and what that means, and the kind of pain you usually have to come from for that. Whereas, again, I haven't read the comics, but the comics sound more like the heady, idea-focused aspect. And I like how the movie goes beyond that and says, okay, beyond all the beyond all the, the burnt flesh and what they did to me was monstrous, and they created a monster. Okay, but who are the people within this? Right. And you see that reflected in him. You see it reflected in Evie. You see it reflected in the detective guy. You see it reflected in the show host guy played by the big dude. I forget his name. He's well known. But I
know who you're talking about, though. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it really does focus on the characters well. It does. I think it does do a better job of focusing on characters than the comic does, because the comic's definitely more about ideas than about having a lot of characters. And the movie, I think, does a better job of keeping a lot of the same ideas, but putting it through a little better of a filter for general audiences. But I think that's why that movie works so well, even now.
Yeah. So I guess you could even say, in terms of an adaptation for, what they wanted to do, I think that just makes it that much better of an adaptation, that they decided this is what we're going to do with it, and they basically created a twin to the original version that has every bit as much breath and heart in it, and I don't know how you do a better adaptation than that.
No, I don't think you can. Yeah, I think the way they did it was exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah, so V for Vendetta. I guess the only other thing that remains with me is Hugo Weaving was not originally going to be not V.
No, I don't think you're right.
It was going to be James Purefoy, who plays the boyfriend guy in Resident Evil. And apparently he stopped because he just didn't want to didn't want to act in the mask. I didn't wear it, but freaking Hugo Weaving did it. So apparently they kept some scenes where he was in it. But I mean, he has the freaking mask on, right? So you just dub over it anyway. So it's just kind of some interesting, aspects. And also, they have an anti-tracking device in that movie.
Okay.
Which I know for a fact is just a book light.
That's hilarious.
Because I had it. But it looks so high tech. It has a red light. The one that I had was just the white light. But every time they take it out, it extends, and it that's a book light, 100%. So that's hilarious.
Cool. I love it.
So that was sweet. Awesome movie. I love how they kind of create that aspect of a Third Reich kind of freaking England. It's an amazing adaptation. Those are my thoughts on anything you have.
No, I'm pretty much right with you on V for Vendetta. That's one of the more underrated adaptations, I think, because like a lot of people forget about that being a comic book. But yeah, it's fantastic. I love V for Vendetta. It's one of my favorites.
I know of no reason that V for Vendetta should ever be forgot.